Welcome to the thrilling world of high-speed racing, where two giants, Ford and Ferrari, clashed in a legendary battle of technology, ambition, and speed. Today we dive into the story of this epic rivalry that transcended the tracks and became a defining moment in auto racing history. From the roaring engines of the 1960s to the dramatic showdown at Le Mans, join us as we explore how these two automotive powerhouses turned competition into an art form, forever changing the landscape of motor racing. In the annals of automotive history, few rivalries are as legendary as the one that unfolded between Ford and Ferrari in the 1960s. This decade-long feud was sparked in 1963 when Henry Ford II, also known as Hank the Deuce, attempted to acquire Ferrari. The deal fell through when Enzo Ferrari, the strong-willed owner of the Italian car maker, refused to relinquish control of his racing team. This business deal gone wrong ignited fierce competition between the two automotive giants, fueled by wounded pride and a desire for dominance. The rivalry reached its zenith at the world's most prestigious car race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans, which Ferrari had historically dominated. Ford, incensed by the failed acquisition and Ferrari's insults, was determined to beat Ferrari at its own game. He was willing to spend some $25 million and thousands of engineering man-hours to build a car that could outperform Ferrari's racing machines. This legendary rivalry was brought to life in the Hollywood movie Ford vs. Ferrari, directed by James Mangold. The film starred Academy Award winners Matt Damon and Christian Bale, who portrayed key figures in the Ford-Ferrari saga. Damon played Carroll Shelby, a champion racer turned car designer, while Bale portrayed Ken Miles, a British driver and racing engineer. The film focused on the 1966 Le Mans race, a highly celebrated moment for racing enthusiasts where Ford finally managed to defeat Ferrari. The Ford-Ferrari rivalry was more than just a competition between two car companies. It was a personal battle between two strong-willed men, a testament to the audacity of dreams, the power of innovation, and the profound influence of determination and teamwork. The rivalry left an indelible mark on automotive history, inspiring individuals in both business and life. The Hollywood adaptation of this rivalry, Ford vs. Ferrari, not only brought intense competition to the big screen, but also highlighted the lives of real-life figures in the racing business and automobile industry. The film was a critical and commercial success, earning praise for its performances, direction, and thrilling racing sequences. Background: the origins of the rivalry between Ford and Ferrari can be traced back to 1963, when Henry Ford II, also known as Hank the Deuce, attempted to acquire Ferrari. At the time, Ford was a dominant force in the American automotive industry, while Ferrari was a prestigious Italian brand known for its racing prowess and high-performance cars. Ford's acquisition attempt was initially well received by Enzo Ferrari, the founder of the Italian car company. The deal would have relieved Ferrari of the day-to-day stress of running the company, and Ford was prepared to pay millions for the company and all its assets. However, as the negotiations neared their conclusion, Ferrari took issue with a clause in the contract that would give Ford control over the budget and, consequently, all decisions related to the Ferrari racing team. This disagreement led to a bitter feud between Henry Ford II and Enzo Ferrari. Ferrari, known for his strong will and passion for racing, was unwilling to surrender his autonomy over the racing team. He ultimately backed out of the deal at the last moment, leaving Ford empty-handed. This decision was seen as a personal insult by Henry Ford II, who was already dealing with rumors that Ferrari had insulted him by saying he was nowhere near the expertise of his grandfather. Ford invested significant resources into developing a race car capable of defeating Ferrari at the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans race. The goal: winning the 24 Hours of Le Mans. In the mid-1960s, the Ford Motor Company set its sights on a lofty goal: to defeat Ferrari at the prestigious 24 Hours of Le Mans race. This objective was born out of a failed business deal. Ford had intended to purchase Ferrari, but when Enzo Ferrari backed out at the last minute, Henry Ford II took it personally and decided to beat Ferrari at their own game. Two key figures were instrumental in Ford's quest: The first was Carroll Shelby, a retired race car driver who had won Le Mans in 1959. Known for his persistence, strategic thinking, and smooth demeanor, Shelby was recruited by Ford Motor Company Vice President Lee Iacocca to build a car capable of defeating Ferrari. Despite facing corporate bureaucracy and a tight deadline, Shelby was determined to build a car that was lighter, faster, and if necessary, nastier. The second key figure was Ken Miles, a hot-tempered British race car driver and mechanical engineer. Despite his temper and disagreements with Shelby, Miles was chosen for his grit and talent. He was known for his innovative thinking and was a key factor in building the race car that would ultimately beat Ferrari. The 1966 Le Mans race was a historic event. Ford's GT40 Mark II, driven by Miles, was up against Ferrari's seasoned champions. Despite the odds, Ford achieved a thrilling 1-2-3 sweep, marking a decisive victory for the American automaker. However, the victory was bittersweet. Ford executives, seeking a PR stunt, instructed Miles to slow down to allow the other Ford cars to catch up, resulting in a dead heat finish. This decision cost Miles his first-place ranking, a decision that Shelby later regretted. The 1966 Le Mans race was a significant event in motorsport history, as it marked the first overall win for the Ford GT40 and the first win for an American constructor in a major European race since 1921, when Ford's GT40 Mark II entries dominated the race, with the team assembling an impressive force of 100 personnel, 9 cars, 7 spare engines, and 21 tons of spare parts. The race saw Ford's GT40 Mark II cars take first, second, and third place, effectively ending Ferrari's storied dominance. The controversial finish of the race involved a formation finish orchestrated by Ford for a photo opportunity. Ken Miles, who had been leading the race, was instructed to slow down and allow his teammates, Bruce McLaren and Chris Amon, to catch up. As they approached the finish line, Miles and McLaren were nearly side by side before Miles inexplicably slowed down, allowing McLaren to surge ahead. Due to a technicality in Le Mans rules, the car that drove the furthest distance was declared the winner in the event of a dead heat finish. Since McLaren and Amon's cars started the race 8 meters behind Miles, they were declared the winners, and Miles was placed second. Many believe that Ken Miles was unfairly denied victory due to this technicality and the orchestrated finish. Carroll Shelby, who was involved in the decision, later expressed regret for agreeing to the dead heat, stating that it was good politically for Ford, but unfair to Ken Miles. Had Miles won, he would have been the first man in history to win Daytona, Sebring, and Le Mans in the same year. The aftermath. The rivalry between Ford and Ferrari, which began in the early 1960s, had a profound impact on both companies and the automotive industry as a whole. The feud was sparked when Henry Ford II attempted to acquire Ferrari in 1963, a deal that ultimately fell through due to disagreements between Ford and Enzo Ferrari, the owner of the Italian carmaker. This led to a nearly decade-long competition between the two automotive giants, with Ford determined to outperform Ferrari in the world's most prestigious car race, the 24 Hours of Le Mans. The Ford GT40, a car specifically designed to beat Ferrari at Le Mans, became a symbol of this rivalry. The GT40 was first raced in 1964, but it initially struggled with reliability issues. However, under the management of Carroll Shelby, the GT40 underwent significant development and refinement, eventually securing 4 consecutive wins at Le Mans from 1966 to 1969. These victories not only disrupted Ferrari's dominance in endurance racing, but also showcased Ford's engineering prowess and determination. The legacy of the Ford GT40 extends beyond its historic victories. The car's design and performance had a significant influence on the automotive industry. Its aerodynamic advancements set a precedent for future generations of cars. When Ford revived the GT for a second generation in 2005, the engineers worked on new ways of using aluminum to save weight, a technique that later found its way into the F-150 pickup truck, improving its fuel efficiency. The GT40's success also had a profound impact on Ford's brand image, enhancing its reputation as a global motorsports powerhouse. The modern G, A homage to the GT40 served as a testament to Ford's ability to combine heritage with cutting-edge technology, delivering a driving experience that honored the past while embracing the future. On the other hand, Ferrari, despite losing its dominance at Le Mans, continued to be a significant player in the automotive and motorsports industries. The rivalry pushed Ferrari to innovate and improve, maintaining its reputation as a manufacturer of high-performance luxury sports cars.